Hello and welcome to another Cliff Reviews Art House. This time I'm reviewing the film A Complete Unknown, directed by James Mangold. So this is a musical biopic. It's about Bob Dylan and it focuses on his early career from 1961 to 65. I've really enjoyed this film. There's an interesting comparison with another biopic that I saw last week, Maria, directed by Pablo Larraín. A Complete Unknown gave me exactly what I wanted from a movie about a talented artist. We saw Dylan writing, we saw him trying out melodies, which we now know have become classics. We see him and Joan Baez singing Blowing in the Wind together. I also loved the portrayal of the first time people heard his music when he sang Times They Are A-Changing at the Newport Folk Festival, where the crowd started singing along with the chorus on the first hearing. This was really exciting. I'm a sucker for seeing artists getting inspired and how that moment of inspiration arrives. For me, this was really missing from Maria. Why she was inspired, why she was so talented. So I enjoyed A Complete Unknown much more than I did Maria. I did find this film really enjoyable, but it is a fairly conventional biopic. One strong point is it doesn't try to tell his whole story. It focuses on a key period in his life, a time of musical and political change. And this was a really good decision as there was more than enough to focus on. I don't know Dylan's story very well, but it's certainly not a complete unknown. And the film has been subject to some criticism for not bringing anything new in the portrayal of Dylan's story. But for me, I learned a lot. I've heard the name Pete Seegers and Woody Guthrie, and I really enjoyed seeing these relationships portrayed in the film. Ed Norton is great as Seegers, and the other actors are great too. Elle Fanning as Dylan's girlfriend, Monica Barbara as Joan Baez. Timothée Chalamet is fantastic in the role of Dylan. At first I was a little bit worried. I saw Timothée Chalamet, I wasn't seeing Dylan, but as soon as he sang the first time, he became Dylan for me. Now, I'm not a big Dylan fan, but it seemed to me an excellent portrayal of Dylan. These are a really good group of actors. Dylan wasn't the nicest person by all accounts, and this is represented in the film, but in a relatively soft way, never enough to make us dislike him. I've no idea if this was sanitised or a fair representation, but apparently Dylan signed off on the script. The film is quite long at 2 hours and 20 minutes, and there is a lot of music. I'm not a big Dylan fan, but I really enjoyed the music. So for me, the length was actually perfect. I was entertained throughout. Personally, I was really pleased that we had a lot of the music. But if you don't like Dylan's music, I can see that you might find the film too long. One final comment about the singing. Both Timothée Chalamet and Monica Barbara both sang in their film. It's only their voices. So this differs from Austin Butler in Elvis or Angelina Jolie in Maria, where they both sang, but there was a kind of mix of the voice of Elvis and Maria with the actors. In this case, it was both. The actors were purely singing as Dylan and Baez. Now, I'm not a connoisseur of either of their music. Maybe it wasn't quite right, but for me, this just seemed totally convincing, really good performances. Overall, there was nothing original or really creative about this film, but it was really competent, really well made. It's a conventional linear story, but it successfully focuses on a relatively limited period, which works really well. It's a really enjoyable film and I would recommend it. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.